Wuthering Waves version 2.4 is finally out and the hype is real. There is so much going on and honestly, I'm having a blast with this patch. It is absolutely insane. Now, I'm going to hold off on giving a full review until the patch is over because there is still a lot left to experience. The story is not finished and there is more content coming. And I want to see it all before I give my final thoughts. But today, I want to talk about something we've seen enough of, and while it's not a major issue with the whole patch, it's definitely something worth talking about. So what exactly is this thing? It is the QTE in Wuthering Waves, and this might seem like a small issue right now, but going forward, I think it could seriously impact the game. So if you enjoy this kind of content, make sure to like the video, subscribe and drop a comment letting me know what you think about the QTE so far. Are they a problem for you? Do you see them as a minor issue or something much bigger? Drop all that in the comments, and of course subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Alright, let's start from the top. What exactly are QTEs? So QTEs, Quicktime Events, are a kind of interactive cutscenes. You don't see them in many modern games, but back in the PlayStation 2 era, they were everywhere. The idea behind QTEs was to make cutscenes more immersive, giving the player some level of controls during movements where you usually just sit back and watch. Now, depending on how they're implemented, QTEs can be either really cool or really annoying. One game that absolutely nailed QTEs was the original God of War series on PS2. I mean God of War 1 and 2. Those games make QTEs feel intense. I mean, you'd be mashing buttons as Kratos tore through enemies. It felt awesome. But here's the thing. The one element that makes QTEs work, the thing that makes them click in a game, is the fact that you can fail. Let me explain. You see, here's how QTEs generally work. A button pops up on the screen and you've got to tap it, usually quickly and at the right moment. How fast and how accurately you hit the button determines what your character does. And like I said, it's basically an interactive cutscene and the timing is everything. Now, QTEs typically have two possible outcomes. If you press all the buttons in time or mash them fast enough in some cases, you get the success route. That's where the sequence plays out fully and smoothly, and you get to see the characters pull out all the cool moves uninterrupted. But if you mess up, if you miss a prompt or mash too slowly, you get the fail route. That usually means your character stumbles or outright fails the action. Some games make you restart the whole QTEs, while others just roll you back a bit. But the point is, the fun comes from the balance between success and failure. That tension is what makes QTEs engaging. So now the big question is, how does Wuthering Waves handle QTEs? How are they actually implemented in the game? The first real taste of QTEs we got in Wuthering Waves was during the Black Shores arc. There's a specific part where you have to escape from Tethys, and it plays out as a full-on cinematic sequence with button prompts and everything. Now, because that was really the first time we'd seen proper QTEs in a big gacha game like this, the hype was real. Everyone was excited. It looked amazing and it felt fresh. In fact, the moments were so exciting that most people didn't even think about what would happen if you failed the QTE. The hype kind of blinded us, but here's the thing. If you had failed it, you'd have noticed one big issue with how Wuthering Waves handles QTEs. You can't actually fail them. And that's just wild, right? The fact that you can't fail a QTE goes completely against what a QTE even is. The whole point of a QuickTime event is that there is a chance you mess it up. That's what separates it from just being a flashy cutscene or an extended animation sequence. But here's the kicker. Kuro didn't stop there. They kept using QTEs, and as they kept adding them in, the issues have only been more noticeable. It's not just a one-time oversight, it's a pattern. You see, the next QTE shows up doing your dance with Carlotta. You're tapping buttons to move through each step of the dance. Now, that sounds cool at first, but then players started testing it, and they found out that you can literally not press a single button, and the dance continues anyway. You still move to the next step like nothing happened, and that is baffling. Now, you might just brush that off and say, okay, fine, it's just a fun little side moment, it's no big deal. But then came the QTE during Zani's story. Now, we can all agree that Zani's story was huge, it was hype. I mean, there's this QTE section in Zani's story where you tap several buttons and Zani does these amazing movesets. There's even this section where you mash a button and Zani unleashes this crazy flurry of punches. It felt intense until players tried doing nothing. And as you guessed it, Zani still threw the exact same punches. There was no alternate animation, no failed sequence, nothing. You realize that the button prompts was just for show. But honestly, the worst use of QTE I've seen in Wuthering Waves came in these specific moments during the 2.4 story quest. Now, if you haven't played the story yet, don't worry, this is a very minor spoiler. I'm intentionally keeping it vague so it won't ruin anything. But there are these moments right at the start of the 2.4 story quest where you control Carlotta and you're trying to destroy this machine. Now, once again, they give us a QTE, but this time it's worse than anything before it. Not only is the sequence repetitive, repetitive. It's long, like really long, like 5 minutes long. You destroy parts of the machine, fall to the ground, go back up, destroy another part, fall again, repeats over and over. And the worst part is, as always, in classic Crow Games QTE fashion, you can just sit there, do absolutely nothing, don't press a single button, and everything still happens. No fail states, no change in outcome, it plays out the same way every time. So my question is, why? Why even make scenes like this? Why put all this effort into animating these flashy QTEs, into programming button prompts, if the player's input doesn't matter at all? It's genuinely baffling. To me, this is a huge missed opportunity. And as I said earlier, it may seem like a small issue now, but just like the gathering wise problem or the lack of character interactions problem, this is one of those things that if we don't talk about it, if we don't raise our voices and push for change as a community, it's going to grow into something that hurts the game long term. I genuinely don't think it will be hard at all to create a fill sequence in Wuthering Waves. I mean, the fact that Crow Games can animate entire QTE scenes already tells me that they absolutely have the tools to make alternate outcomes. Take the Carlotta scene again. Imagine if when you miss a button, you stumble or fall, or something goes slightly wrong. That little detail would instantly make the moments feel more immersive. It would actually give weight to the QTE. Right now, not doing that just makes the whole thing feel like a waste of animation, of programming efforts, and honestly, of our time as players. And here's the thing, it doesn't even have to be complicated. They could go simple and just make the player restart from the last prompt if they fail, or if you want to get creative, you could design two paths, a success route and a fail route, that eventually converge back into the main story. Imagine how cool that would be. That alone would make players want to replay the scene just to see both outcomes. There are so many ways QTEs could be fun, meaningful, and rewarding, but the way they're handled right now in Wuthering Waves, it's just not it. They're not fun, they're not interactive, they feel completely pointless. And if that's how QTEs are going to continue in the game, then honestly, just remove them. Cut the feature entirely, because if you're just pressing buttons for no reason, then what's even the point? You see, the reason I'm so passionate about QTEs is because I already know where this is heading. I can already see the future of Wuthering Waves if this continues. And honestly, we've already had a glimpse of it. Zani's quest is a very good example. It's not a huge story, it's not talking about Sentinels or Threnodians or the Fraxiders, it's a smaller companion level quest, but it ends with a boss fight which already makes it stand out. And during that boss fight, a completely meaningless QTE happens. No fail states, no impact, just more button tapping that doesn't actually matter. Now, that was just a companion quest, but what happens when QTEs start creeping into the main story, into big fights against the Fraxiders, against Sentinels, against the Threnodians, the true heavy hitters of the world? Imagine these high-stake moments being undercut by fake interaction, long QTE sequences that do absolutely nothing. That would kill the entire immersion, and that's the future I'm worried about. It starts small, a few harmless moments here and there, but if we don't talk about it enough, if we don't push back now, we'll be stuck meaninglessly tapping buttons during epic boss fights, pretending that our input matters when it really doesn't. So yeah, let's talk. What do you think about QTEs in Wuthering Waves? Do you love them? Do you hate them? Do you see the same future I do? Drop it out in the comments. I'll be reading and I'll be replying. And as always, I'll catch you all in the next one.